watching Tommy TV.
Taylorville Tornadoes look to kick on the Mount Zion Braves. As I said, my name is Leroy Clamola. Joining me is my partner for all year long, Reed Camhi. Reed, how are you this evening, sir?
I am awesome. I am excited for what should be a really good game and certainly a consequential game. And this is certainly when we'll be hoping to see the best of Taylorville come out tonight.
Taylorville comes into this game 4-3, 3-1 in the conference. Mount Zion coming in at 6-1, but they're 4-0 in the conference. So if Taylorville's able to win, they will be 4-1, and Mount Zion will be 4-1. So Taylorville will share a conference championship, but that's going to be a tough task because they have a huge hill to climb today. Taylorville Tornadoes coming in looking for a new quarterback. That's right, Isaac Repscher getting hurt last week in Taylorville's win at home against Charleston. And Cameron Smith will get the nod to lead things off. Talking to a few coaches, sounds like, Reed, they're going to be changing the offense dramatically from what we've seen, from what we've been used to. I expect there to be a lot more running than what we've seen in the past, but you never know. Cameron Smith's first play was a touchdown.
We could see a lot of running. I'll be curious to see what happens, and I'm curious also how Mount Zion's defense has prepared for this game. You know, when you're preparing midweek, right? You look at what you've seen from your opponent, and they've seen not a whole lot of Cameron Smith, so possibly a lot of questions that they've had to answer. So we'll be watching how they prepare.
And of course, Taylorville trying to get things going here, and they're going to be leaning heavily on Cameron Smith and what he provides for this team. You see him on the screen on Tommy TV. Of course, Cameron came in, very first play, threw for a touchdown against a weakened Charleston team, but he's going to have his work cut out for him, and it's going to be really, really important. We're going to talk about keys of the game a little bit later on in the pregame show, but it's going to be really, really important for him to be able to get on his feet early and get established in that role of quarterback and really just kind of take over as leader of this team for today, Civic Memorial, and the playoffs should we win one of the next two games. That's right, Taylorville needs to win at least one of their next two games if they want a playoff spot. Of course, they have a game against Civic Memorial, who has also struggled this year. So if they lose tonight to Mount Zion, not all hope is lost, which is extremely important as well. Otherwise than that, because we are looking at a new quarterback, we are going to be looking also at the run game, and that's going to be changing a little bit too. So when you look at the running game, Taylorville really has a three-headed monster when it comes to the run game. You've got Owen Mateer, who's fantastic, Spencer Brown, and of course you've got also Dawson Jenkins. And Dawson Jenkins really got a whole lot of time last Friday in the run game.
And that's crucial for him, right? Hadn't seen too much of him in the running game so far this season. It had been mostly Mateer and Brown, so and then they were good touches. He was effective up the middle. So a lot for Mount Zion to have to think about going into this game.
And I fully expect Taylorville to be utilizing all of their different weapons here when it comes to their run game and what they've been able to do, because it's going to be up to them to be able to handle the load, the front load of this with Isaac Repscher out for the game. So, you know, when you look at this team, and it's been really, really awesome to see, you know, another big weapon and one that I didn't really think about until just exactly this moment was the play of Ben Peabody. Now, Isaac Repscher, of course, out. That's a big, big note for him. He's got the foot injury going on. He got hurt last week in the game against Charleston. So he will be giving a lot of his leadership still on the sideline. He'll be helping out, trying to get Cameron all ready to go. But Ben Peabody has really, really stepped up as well. And it's going to be really, really interesting to see if he's able to keep on kicking the ball as well as he has been, because that's been a big piece for this Taylorville team when they, you know, being able to have somebody that's reliable behind the line to kick has been crucial for this team, and a big weapon that Taylorville has sorely needed for quite a while. So excited to see that and see what else this Taylorville defense and offense is going to provide in a very, very tough game against Mount Zion. Taking a look at the keys of the game, as we said, first 10 plays are extremely important. Look, get Cameron Smith comfortable behind the line. Let him have a set sequence that he's going to do. A lot of college teams have their first 20 plays scripted. Hopefully, Taylorville's able to do that where the first 10 plays is extremely important. 2, don't get overwhelmed. Look, this is a very dangerous Mount Zion team. They played tough against Mount Muhammad. They're going to need to play tough tonight. Their best game of the season needs to be tonight. If they get down early, don't get overwhelmed. Don't mail it in. Keep trying. And number 3, don't beat yourself. Listen, this is a Taylorville team that has struggled with penalties all year. When they haven't had penalties, they played really, really well. We've seen it. Your game at Effingham, they played penalty-free football. They played extremely well. So for Taylorville to be able to do that is going to go a long way towards being able to find what they need moving forward. All right, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have much more. You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and watching us on Tommy TV.
Tornado Nation, and welcome to the last home game of the 2025-2026 football season. Tonight, the matchup is between the Mount Zion Braves and your Taylorville Tornadoes. Now, the Braves come into this matchup with an overall record of 6-1, 4-0 in the conference, and the Tornadoes come into this with an overall record of 4-3 and 3-1 in the conference. Taylorville is looking to pick up a big win here tonight and secure themselves a playoff spot before their final regular season game against Civic Memorial next week. Tonight's definitely going to be a very tough Apollo Conference matchup, seeing as the Mount Zion Braves are the number 4 team in Class 4A football. And it's also going to be an emotional one, as it's the seniors' last time here on the THS Turf.
All right, as Taylorville Tornadoes look to take the field, you're listening to WTIM, your information station, Tommy TV. Want to thank our sponsors who allow us to be out here calling the game tonight. Senior Citizens of Christian County, TCCU, along with Screw's Coffee. Donate $10 for every Tornado touchdown that's scored on the year. Reed, do you have the number?
They've scored 36 touchdowns. That's $360.
All right, and here come the Taylorville Tornadoes taking the field in the conference championship. That's right, a big matchup here between these two squads. And Taylorville actually playing really, really good football as of late, Reed. They're going to need to play one of the best games of their time in school here this evening.
Well, and they've made a lot of good decisions on offense, certainly in the passing game. Now, most of that has come from Isaac Repsher because he spent most of the time, obviously, doing that passing. The running game has been good. They had that three-headed monster, like what we've been talking about. They've been better on defense in terms of making those tackles, making those plays. So this is the momentum they would have wanted going into tonight. And I think Mount Zion will look at that and think, okay, well, we got to take this team seriously.
Well, and that's just it. When you look at this team and what they've been able to do, they're going to be leaning on the guy who's played a quarter of football. Cameron Smith came in, played part of the third, or actually came in, played most of the second half, including part of a big portion of the third and all of the fourth quarter. So he does have a little bit of experience under him, but for the most part, he's coming in here as a rookie, and it's going to be a big test for him as a starter, playing against one of the best teams in the country, who's led by the number 3 tight end in the nation right now, J.C. Anderson.
Yeah, number 3 recruit. He is going to Ole Miss after this season, so that'll be a target to look out for, especially up the middle for this Taylorville defense.
Who are some of the other big weapons that Mount Zion has that we should be worried about, Reed?
Jacob Harvey, another big target, and that'll all be coming from the quarterback Keller Stocks. So a lot of targets really for Taylorville to keep an eye on. Those linebackers, those defensive backs, they're going to have to be on the top of their game, especially in that man coverage as well. And Nick Schur as well on the offensive and defensive lines, certainly the offensive line as well. And that'll be a big part of offering some good protection for that passing game. And then we'll see what they've got on the ground as well.
All right, so Mount Zion does take the field, and we were going through our sponsors here when Taylorville came on. McDonald's, I'm Loving It, who's official sponsor of our coin toss, where they love the Tornadoes and we love McDonald's. And don't forget to join us afterwards for the Nicole Patrick Country Financial Player of the Game, as we'll see who it will be for Taylorville here today. But for the Tornadoes, they're pretty excited as they get ready to go here. So Mount Zion won the coin toss. They've elected to receive, and Taylorville will kick, go left to right on your radio dial. Actually, I take that back. Taylorville won the toss and elected to receive. I apologize. We'll get it. All right, Reed, final thoughts before we get ready for kickoff here.
Well, this is with Taylorville starting. That's what I was trying to say. We're going to get to see really how they start. This is Cameron Smith's first start as quarterback. Last time he came on, his team was up 14 points in a game they were expected to win. Now the score is 0-0. He's new to playing under a clean slate, so he needs good pass protection. He's got to make good decisions, and he's got to understand this Mount Zion defense in the early goings so that they can get a good start to this game.
According to Max Preps, Taylorville is the number 233 team in the state. Mount Zion, a little bit better than that. They're number 60 in the state, so Taylorville's going to have their work cut out for them here in this one. Of course, numbers are just numbers, and you still have to go out there and play the game, and Taylorville will be looking for Cameron Smith and the rest of these Taylorville Tornadoes to get this offense going. And what we've seen has been not a problem with offense, but a problem with defense being able to contain. And so you're starting to see, or you're seeing some very high-powered offenses that have been putting up a ton of points. The question is, will Taylorville be able to sustain that moving throughout the rest of the evening?
And Taylorville hasn't had a whole lot of recent experience against some of these high-powered offenses. Effingham has been as good as it's gotten in the previous 3 games, and then they've done, for the most part, well to contain Nat Toon and Charleston. So they got to step up today.
And like I said, they were tied with Muhammad at halftime, 14-14 on the road in Muhammad. So that's one of those things where you look back and you think, man, I'd love to do that game again. So we'll get ready here for this one as the Braves get ready to kick. Gabe Shoemaker will be the man of the moment. Shoemaker, a 6'1", 162-pound senior, will give it a boot, and we are underway. A banging kick that went and hit the R on Tornadoes in the end zone, and Tornadoes will bring it out to the 20, and that's where we'll get our first look at Cameron Smith and the new Taylorville offense.
Well, here we go. Like I said, coming out in a 0-0 game, and they've got it at the 20-yard line, so has some ground to cover. That was not the case when he came on suddenly in that game last week. They were at the 51, or excuse me, there's no 51-yard line, 49-yard line. That's not Canadian football.
Taylorville will start off on the middle of the field as they get ready to go, wearing their all-black uniforms, purple numbers, black helmets, and purple numbers with gold stripes. Here we go. Cameron in the shotgun, hands off right off the bat, and Taylorville swallowed up. He tries to get away from the. Actually, he got away from the initial hit and kept going. It looked like a stiff arm came in, but Owen Mateer, no real gain on that first play.
We've seen the offensive line be really strong in some of the recent weeks, so seeing that not especially encouraging in the early goings.
Well, and again, this is a dangerous Mount Zion team. Taylorville's going to have their work cut out for them to try to give their running back space to be able to move through the trenches. Smith lining up in the shotgun again. Barking instructions. 2 on the near side, 1 on the far side. Hands off again. Cuts left, still on his feet, then slides forward for a gain of about 3 on the play. And a good run from Mateer again.
Better there, and we've seen a lot of plays like that from Taylorville as they try to really test the defensive line, even some of the linebackers on Mount Zion's team.
2 plays, 3 yards of offense. Try again here on a 3rd and 7. Just underway in this one. Nothing score between these two powerhouses. Smith all alone in the backfield, and Mount Zion showed blitz but jumped off sides, and Taylorville will take the 5 yards of free yardage.
Confirmation then of the offside decision. Even some of the cornerbacks were a little late to their matchups, so a bit out of sorts for Mount Zion, but that gives Taylorville a good shot at maybe getting the first down here on 3rd.
And for Taylorville, you need to capitalize on these mistakes. Mount Zion will not give you many. Make sure you capitalize when they do mess up. Split, open set, jumbo package. This is a throw deep, one-on-one matchup. It's caught, down to the 30, the 25-20. Taylorville's gonna go all the way to the 10-yard line on a fantastic catch made by Taylorville's kid. Blake Pierce, sorry. My goodness. Nope, it was Wyatt Yonker.
Wyatt Yonker, yep.
See,
Yep.
I'm still getting used to the numbers on here. It's different. Wyatt Yonker with a great catch. Wyatt makes the catch, and Wyatt races all the way down, and Taylorville will capitalize on the encroachment and a huge play on the matchup. They were expecting run. Taylorville beat them on the pass.
Well, the wide receivers stepping up here, at least Wyatt Yonker has, and we'll hope to see the same from the others. Just that ball goes up, and you got to do your quarterback the favor and go up and make the grab.
So Wyatt Yonker puts Taylorville in the red zone as they get ready to go here. Cameron Smith. Hands off the left-hand side, tries to cut forward, and then runs into a wall trying to make that turn on the left-hand side. No room to run there for Spencer. I believe that was Spencer Brown.
Bit unsteady with a handoff. He sort of ran into Cameron Smith. So cost them a bit on the play, but you go again and on plenty of confidence.
Well, no one arguing that Cameron Smith doesn't have an arm. A fantastic catch. Wyatt Yonker gets way out in front. Trying to chase him down was Connor Fox, but Wyatt Yonker making quick work of that. Movement. Taylorville resets. The snap, another handoff. Tries to go up the middle and gets pulled down hard, and that middle line is not getting anywhere as absolutely wrenched down by Evan Howley, the junior 217-pound linebacker.
Yeah, Howley made a good jump. I think he knew what was to come from the Taylorville run on that play and gets a good stop, brings up another 3rd down.
3rd and 8, and Taylorville does not want to settle for a field goal. Be 3rd and 8 from the 8-yard line. 3rd and goal from the 8. Middle of the field for the Tornadoes. Right halfway between the hash marks. Cameron Smith in the shotgun. He's got Dawson Jenkins next to him. Hands off to Jenkins. Jenkins, the fullback, pushing forward. Gain of about 3, but it's still going to be short. It's going to bring up a 4th and 5, and Coach Jeb Odom's going to have, the Taylorville coaching staff's going to have a tough decision here on what they want to do. Sure enough, they're bringing the kicking team on.
There was a bit of a gap that I think just got noticed there, as you can just see on Tommy TV, and that is Dawson Jenkins getting through. I think the hurdling might have cost him.
So, Ben Peabody to kick here. Kick is up. And how beautiful is it to have a good field goal kicker? Great job from Ben Peabody, and Taylorville takes the first stab. They're up 3-0, courtesy of Wyatt Yonker. So Taylorville leads this one 3-0, 7:49 left here in the first quarter on what was a 15-yard field goal. And perfect hold from Wyatt Yonker. Kick is up and splits the uprights, and that's what you want to see if you're Taylorville. Now the defense will have a tough task in front of them as they will try to slow down this offense from the Braves.
Yeah, Ben Peabody could have a busy night tonight with some of the uncertainties we've seen on offense. You know, you could end some drives in field goal range and have to make some kicks that are considerably more challenging than that one. So expect him to be busy. And obviously we have the encouraging sign of the pass that you're seeing again on Tommy TV. Oh, just good sight there from the quarterback, Cameron Smith. You know, hard to see around all those players, but just finds his receiver, Wyatt Yonker, on the back side of it. And that was just a perfect catch. And then Yonker just turned on the jets. Didn't quite fully beat out his opponent, but certainly gained some good yardage. And that set them up to get at least some points on the board.
All right, so Taylorville will come out to kick as they get ready to go here. Tornadoes will try to see if their defense can't hold this dangerous Mount Zion offense. Back to receive for Mount Zion on the near side is Brody Lippa. So here we go. Kick is up. And it's on the near side, and Lippa grabs it. It's a bounce. Lippa picks it up at the 10. Out to the 20, 25, 30, and then gets pulled down at the 22-yard line. So he tried pushing forward, but got pulled back a little bit, taken down at the 22 by a handful of Tornadoes. And so that is where Mount Zion will set up shop at their own 22-yard line.
It was a bit of a nervy grab there. You never know how that ball is going to bounce, but ultimately a good return. And Mount Zion now has slightly better field position than what Taylorville did. We're going to see what they do as the offense takes to the field where they'll snap on the left side.
All right, so we'll see this Mount Zion team set up here. See what Tornadoes can do about slowing down this Mount Zion offense. First play is a quick throw over to the near side. As quarterback Keller Stocks gets it over to the near side, and the reception is made by Ricky Jones, the 6'1" senior.
It was a good early screen pass, as you see. Taylorville did not press immediately. They made the catch.
Well, and not trying to do too much on that one. Staggered set. Another screen play over the right-hand side. Caught, it's a one-on-one matchup. Breaks through enough for the first time, then gets pulled out of bounds on the far side. Picked up by Jacob Harvey.
This time Taylorville covering even deeper, as that allowed them an even better pickup and enough for the first down. Look at that, you had the one defender blocking, or blocked, and no one else able to cover.
So Ricky Jones got the first one, Jacob Harvey got the second one. Is Cone Elwick getting the third one? We're going right down the numbers as far as the order goes. Let's see what happens here. Ball in the far hash mark, handoff. Tries to go up the middle. Tried to pull him down, but unable to as Kellen Bullhorst off to the right-hand side, still on his feet enough for a first down, and runs out of bounds in Taylorville territory near the 45-yard line.
And you're upset about that first tackle not being made, as that was right in the backfield. Instead, some confidence there from the running back to turn around, just go the other way, and find all the openings that were created from the delay.
Shotgun again. Keller Stocks looking to throw. Right, open man right in the middle of the field. That's Brody Lippa. Lippa cuts forward, enough for a first down again. And Mount Zion not having to do too much. Taylorville defense, as you said, Reed, not pressing tremendously hard, so that's leaving some open slots. As Taylorville more in a prevent defense, which is allowing a lot of these easy plays there with just 6-7 yards to be made. Shotgun again. Stocks. Fake handoff, now throws it over the right-hand side. Caught forward, good run from Ricky Jones, who immediately looked like he dropped it, then gets absolutely lambasted by a ton of Taylorville Tornadoes, including but not limited to Maddox Owens. Maddox was not the only one there. There were about 4 Tornadoes that were right there, but able to get past the initial onslaught with a good block from J.C. Anderson. And Taylorville Taylorville's going to have their hands full, and J.C. Anderson hasn't even touched the ball yet. Handoff, right side. And another run, another first down on the carry. And again, making quick work as Kellen Bullhorse gets enough for the first down and then some.
And they're going no huddle, not giving Taylorville a time to think about what's going on.
Looks to be the same play that they just ran. It is. Throw over the left-hand side, though, this time. It's been working. Why not? Hit from behind and pulled down, but enough for Jacob Harvey to get a good gain on that one. Landon Patterson on the stop.
Mount Zion really mixing it up on these plays. We've seen them go left and right and over the middle. Some running plays in there as well. And Taylorville has not had a chance to regroup.
Also in on that stop was Taylorville's Maddox Havera. Havera was actually the guy that hit him from behind. Another throw, this time Taylorville ready for it, and it'll be stopped short. It'll be a 3rd and 1, maybe a gain of 1. Yeah, it was, so it'll be 3rd and 1. And Taylorville will be thrilled if they can keep him to a field goal, although if a 4th and 1, Mount Zion would absolutely go for it. So Taylorville's going to need to get a stop in the backfield here or an incomplete pass. And I still think Mount Zion will go for it. We'll see what they do. Stocks lines up. Right behind him is Bullhorst. Stocks sets. Near hash mark. Mount Zion wearing all white. Handoff. Stocks was forward, and he's going to have just enough for the first down. Maybe 2 yards on the run. They'll bring up a 1st and 10 from the 12.
Not a big play by any means, but Mount Zion gets the job done as they need to. They've been so effective, and they've taken advantage of Taylorville's really not looking all that prepared, at least in terms of how they're covering these Braves defenders.
Well, and for the most part, Taylorville was flashy with theirs. Mount Zion's just been methodical. Bullhorse right side gets eaten up. Still on his feet, and then finally pulled down. They let that go a little bit longer than what I would have. They were still all pushing and pulling, and gain of about 5 on the play with forward progress. So it'll be 2nd and 5 from the 7. They're going to need to get to the 2 to get a first down. Or 7 yards to get a touchdown. 3-0 lead, 4:07 left here in the first quarter. Taylorville holding a slight advantage on the chip shot field goal that was courtesy of Wyatt Yonker. Right side, caught, and in for a score. Far right side. And that touchdown was made by number 18, J.C. Anderson. Who else but the Ole Miss recruit? J.C. Anderson, so dangerous and one of the best tight ends in the nation, not just in Illinois, in the nation. All right, so get ready for the extra point. Shoemaker to kick. Kick is up. And good. 7-3 in favor of Mount Zion with 3:53 left here in the quarter. You're listening to WTIM, your information station, watching us on Tommy TV. Back in just a moment. And welcome back to Taylorville Tornadoes Football. Mount Zion getting ready to kick here. Taylorville will be back as they try to get ready to get their offense going here again. They didn't do a whole lot other than a huge Wyatt Yonker reception. It eventually led to a field goal. Another one that goes way deep into the end zone. And Taylorville will get ready to go here. So again, Taylorville will start up at the 20-yard line. We'll see the second set from Cameron Smith here.
They certainly want a big play. That's really the only thing that was all that effective on the first drive. Those runs up the middle didn't always work so hot, especially towards the end of that drive when they were trying to maybe score a touchdown instead of a field goal.
Mount Zion will pick up a win in the conference if they are able to beat Taylorville today. If Taylorville is able to win, they will share that conference championship. Snap. Smith looking to throw. And Yonker can't hold on to it. Yonker had the space and was right there, but his hands couldn't grab onto the football. 2nd and 10.
They were taking a play from the Mount Zion playbook, as that was what scored the touchdown for the Braves. It was a great design. So when those connections are made, you got to come down with it.
2nd and 10, 3:49 left here in the first quarter. 7-3 Mount Zion leads. Shotgun. Smith. Handoff. Cuts over the left-hand side, still on his feet, and then gets pulled down. Gain of about 7 on the play. On the good run from Mateer.
That's better from Taylorville as they go to the outside. I just wonder if they might do that again, see if it leads to more success as they get a decent gain and a decent third down situation.
All right. 3rd and 4 from the 26. Taylor will need to get to the 30-yard line to pick up a new set of downs. Handoff again. A foot race off the left-hand side. Breaks one tackle. Still on his feet out of the 35. Enough for a first down. And then some. And once again, Taylor will find some space. This time actually in the middle of the field on the run from Spencer Brown.
What a run that is. Take another look on Tommy TV. Seems like he turned on the Jets after you said it was a foot race. Give him a little motivation.
So Smith will set up. Let's see what we got going on here. Taylorville. Some work being done on Connor Hunsley on the sideline. Tape work. Handoff again. Near side, and slipping and falling and not in the playbook was Spencer Brown. Brown lost his footing coming around the corner, and it'll be back to the line of scrimmage, no more. Bring up a 2nd and 10.
Easy to do that on this turf, as I think he just tried to cut. So we'll have another look on Tommy TV. Yep, yeah, right at the cut, and he had quite a bit of traffic.
Ball on the near side. Taylor gets ready to go here again. 2 up top, 1 on the bottom. It's Cameron Smith looking to throw as Dawson Jenkins into block. High throw and unable to be caught, and then hit hard as he was coming down on that far side. Taylor didn't like that a whole lot. On the Incomplete pass. Pass was intended for Blake Laddish, and Laddish could not bring it in. Bring up a 3rd and 10.
Yeah, too high on the throw there. Otherwise, got himself in a good position.
So Malik Pierce and Laddish on the far side. Cameron looking to throw again. Now just runs forward, still on his feet to the 40, 45, and then gets hit and pulled down, but close to the first down marker. Might be, nope, they're going to rule it a first down, and Taylorville is going to come out big on this one. Frustration from Connor Fox, who thought they had him, but Taylorville able to pick up a first down.
And what a play that was. Brave to go for the run. There were plenty of players in white in the way. So he just backed himself to make the cuts he needed to and get the first down.
Near hash mark. Cameron in the shotgun, barking instructions. Hands off again. Absolutely chewed up in the backfield on a huge stop from Hunter Swaggerty, the 5'11" sophomore, able to get into the backfield and bring him down.
Yeah, Swaggerty cut around the offensive line well. We've seen that a few times from Mount Zion in this game from a variety of their defenders. So they've got a lot of players who can make an impact on the other side of the ball.
Maddox Rivera checks in for Taylorville. Laddish on the far side. As is Malik Pierce. Rivera lines up in the tight end slot. Now in motion. Rivera moving over to the near side. Shotgun for Cameron. Snaps it. Good snap, looks to throw. Up the middle, Yonker, another good reception and pulled down finally at the 40-yard line. And these defenders are just swinging the Taylorville offense around. They are just absolutely manhandling them when they make the catch, but they are making the catch for the most part. And Cameron has looked fairly decent in this first quarter here as we wrap things up. 7-3 here in the first with under 30 seconds to go. But I'm telling you, just watching, if you're listening on the radio, these Mount Zion defenders are just absolutely manhandling these Taylorville wide receivers, just swinging them around, throwing them like rag dolls. Taylorville's putting up a good fight here early.
And I just feel like the Tornadoes will have to rely a little more on the passing game to really advance the ball well. And what a great play there overall in that triple marking.
So we reached the end of the first quarter. Taylorville trailing in this one 7-3, but they only let Mount Zion have the ball one drive. You're listening, WTIM, your information station. Welcome back to Taylorville Tornadoes Football. Eric Lamola alongside Reed Camai with 7-3 lead for Mount Zion. Taylorville driving. Has the ball at the Mount Zion 39-yard line. Cameron hands off to Spencer Brown, right side, forward. Still on his feet, breaks one tackle, breaks another one, then gets pulled down around the 39 or 34-yard line.
With how successful the last few plays have been, I think this time they did catch Mount Zion offside with running up the middle, and that was well done there by Spencer Brown, seeing that space, getting a couple valuable yards.
2nd and 5 from the 34. Middle of the hash for Taylorville. Two wide receivers up top. Pistol formation. Handoff. Cuts over the left-hand side, still on his feet, then forward, then has about four bodies land on top of him on the run from Spencer Brown down to about the 31-yard line. It'll be just shy of the first down marker for Taylorville. Spencer Brown comes out.
Seeing more intensity from the Tornado players here as they're able to get a couple good plays on the ground. And they've needed that with what some of the Mount Zion defenders have brought, especially just now from Evan Howley.
And Taylorville knows what they need to do. Look, they've played Mount Zion before. They know what they need to do to win this game. But it's knowing and having to do. They're quite different things. And Taylorville learning that lesson here this evening as they are having to match the intensity level of this Mount Zion team. Cameron in the shotgun. Hand off to Dawson Jenkins. Cuts the right side. Still on his feet. Enough for a first down and then some. And still holding on to the ball. That gets pulled down from behind, but going to be all the way down to the 21-yard line. And a great run for Dawson Jenkins.
Well done. And take another look at some of the blocking here on Tommy TV. Look at some of the holes that get made here. Of course, has to work his way around a couple of defenders as well. Brody Lipa looked like he could have made a grab. So too did Calvin Becker initially. It was better from the running game for Taylorville.
Well, thanks, senior citizens of Christian County, TCCU, Skewers Coffee, McDonald's, I'm loving it, and they love the Tornadoes, along with Nicole Patrick, your country financial player of the game. Shotgun, Cameron, handoff again. Right side, this time nothing doing, gain of maybe about 3 on the play, and they'll bring up a 2nd and 7. 2nd and 8. Ball at the 20-yard line. Taylorville in the red zone for the second time today. Trailing 7-3 with 9:34 left here in the first half. Big boys in front of Cameron, keeping him upright. Smith's looked very good in his first game as a starter. Here's the snap. Handoff. Mateer, right side, still on his feet, breaks one tackle, runs into a wall, pushes forward, enough close to a first down. It is a first down for Taylorville down to the 10-yard line. And Taylorville in business here on a 1st and goal from the 10. Now, Taylorville was able to do this last time, Reed. They kind of ran into a wall, could not push in the touchdown. It'd be huge here if they can get another, if they can actually get into the end zone.
And I'm feeling good about it. You know, it seems like there's just been a change of mentality from some of the players who, you know, are who we don't tend to mention, and that they're causing problems for Mount Zion and allowing their teammates to make some good games.
Coaching staff for Taylorville audibly, noticeably yelling, hey, 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 pay attention, pay attention. So they've changed up the play. Left side and into nothing as the ball comes down. In on the stop was Howley along with a couple other Braves as there was nothing going there for Taylorville on that run.
And that's happened other times in this drive. Again, don't get discouraged. There's still some more opportunities here. Now a 2nd down. And Taylorville, with some of the plays they've made, I mean, they've got a good chance of maybe taking the lead on this drive.
2nd and 8 from the 9. So Taylorville has to get to the 1-yard line. Preferably in. Looking to throw, rolls out to his left-hand side. Heavy pursuit and behind. Now breaks a wall and then gets hit, and it will be down behind the line of scrimmage, so it will count as a loss on the play. Be 3rd and 14, so that play went nowhere for Cam. He'll have to do it again.
Well, I think that was a broken play from the high snap as he then just rolled out to his left. Wise in the end, and you can see Cameron Smith on your screen if you're watching on Tommy TV.
Quarterback, 1 word or 2 words?
I think it's 1 word. No space to limiter.
Emotion for Rivera. Cameron looking to throw again. Heavy pursuit on the blitz, just releases it. No one paying attention. The ball lands incomplete, intended for, I believe, Blake Gladage. It'll bring up a 4th down and 14. So once again, Mount Zion defense does what it needs to do and will not allow Taylorville to get into the end zone.
I didn't love the decision to throw here. And you can see a couple of arms that could have gotten to that one. Will Moore looked like he wanted to cut over and make the interception.
Well, the throw is just made to avoid the blitz, and we've seen that before when Isaac Repscher in his first few games would release the ball a little bit early just to avoid the sack, and that just comes with patience and time. So Peabody with another kick. Kick is up, and it is in. How refreshing is that? Ben Peabody, back-to-back field goals, and a huge moment for Taylorville as Peabody able to put that one in. 7-6. Mount Zion leads this one, but Taylorville's got to feel pretty good. 2 drives, 2 field goals, and excited to see Ben Peabody behind the line kicking that one.
32-yard kick. The snap was a little high, and that just allowed a couple of those Mount Zion players to almost make the block. But as for the offensive part of this drive for Taylorville, I like a lot of what I saw. They've really forced Mount Zion to have to work harder to make the tackles.
Now there was a flag.
Uh-oh.
Penalties declined. It was against Mount Zion, so field goal is good. Oh, they're going to get him running into the kicker, so that'll be 7-6. And Taylorville will get ready to kick it here, trailing by 1. So 2 field goals for Taylorville, and they're right in this one, 7-6, and they're going to see if they can't slow down a Mount Zion Braves team that really had no issues moving the ball on offense this last drive.
Now, Taylorville, they'll have had plenty of time. The quarter intermission will have helped them get a little more extra time in front of the TV. Figure out how to stop this Mount Zion team that really attacked in so many ways, right? We saw passes in all different directions. The screen especially was really effective for them. They even made a couple throws up the middle, mixed in some good running plays. That makes it really difficult for the Tornado. There we are. It makes it difficult for the Tornado defense to really figure out what to do on a lot of these plays.
Did you see what that sign said on Tommy TV?
Yeah, for 5 minutes.
Say it with your chest. Taylorville is the best.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the top countdown.
You missed this. You missed the.
I missed it.
The student sign that was posted here from a good student section that's come out to watch Taylorville play Mount Zion. So Peabody will get ready to kick here from the 40. And kick is up. And it's a line drive kick that gets picked up at the 5. 10, 15. Breaks one tackle down to the 20, and then pushed out of bounds at the 22-yard line. That's where Mount Zion will start their drive. As Braves brought it out with Creighton Weigler.
That was a lucky grab there. As you'll see on Tommy TV, it skips off the ground. That could almost have been a muffin. Rough field position as Jackson Good read the bounds perfectly and then confidently ran it forward and got some good yardage.
All right, so Tornadoes will set up shop defensive-wise at the ball near hash mark at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 at the 20. That's what they rule it at. Keller Stocks, quarterback, gets ready to go in the shotgun. Stocks, hands off. Left side for Kellen Bullhorse. Bullhorse still on his feet. Now to about the 25-yard line before being pulled down by a slew of Taylorville defenders. 7-6, 6:43 left here in this first half. Tornadoes hanging with one of the best teams, definitely the best team in the conference. They were able to beat Muhammad earlier this season. Stocks in the shotgun. Hand off. Left side being dragged and then pulled down near the original line of scrimmage. And a lot of black in there to bring down the Brave. Good crowd on hand for Mount Zion. I know it's not that far of a drive, only about a 30-minute drive from Mount Zion to Taylorville, but a good crowd came here for the Braves to cheer on their team. As a win here today for them would give them the Apollo Conference. Taylorville trying to say, hey, we want a piece of that pie too. Open set, jumbo package. All 5 wide receivers up on the line. Keller Stocks. All alone. Taylorville rushing 4. As Gabe Machad in the spy. And he breaks on the left-hand side, had everyone fooled. He's off to the races. No one's going to catch him. Keller Stocks 74-yard touchdown run, no flags. So Mount Zion shows their first big play of the night, coming with 5:14 left in the second quarter.
And another look on Tommy TV, and you saw right at the end there, Mashad had planted himself just about at the line of scrimmage. He was originally, like you said, in the spy and positioned a bit further back as spies are. That just left that space open on the right side, only just beyond the offensive line.
So I'll get ready to kick here for Gabe Shoemaker. Kick is up and good. It's 14-6 in favor of the Braves. You're listening to WTIM, your information station. Back in just a few moments. 14-6 in favor of Mount Zion. I wasn't planning on coming back, but Reed kidnapped me and made me come back. So we're back. 14-6 in favor of Mount Zion. 5:14 left here in the second quarter. As Taylorville will try to answer punch for punch here. And we knew coming into this game the offense was going to be super high-powered from both sides. And so far, Mount Zion's given everything they've got. But Taylorville's been right there. The problem is at some point, Taylorville's going to have to find the end zone because touchdowns against field goals is not going to match up. 2 touchdowns for Mount Zion, 2 field goals for Taylorville. Kick goes, and Malik Pierce grabs it to the 5, to the 10. Pierce has speed down to the 15, then runs into the wall of white and gets pulled down just shy of the 20-yard line around the 18, and that's where Taylorville and Cameron Smith will set up shop. Through one half of Taylorville football here today, and there's 5:06 left here in this first half, and you got to be thrilled if you're Coach Jabodum with how Cameron Smith has done behind the center.
Yeah, he's made a lot of good plays, a couple slight overthrows, but other than that, you know, it's for the most part good decision making. That's going to give your side any amount of improved opportunity to make an impact in this game, and every little bit counts in a game like this.
Cameron sets up the shotgun. It looked like it's almost a wildcat. I think it was picked up by the halfback. It's not a real big gain for Owen Mateer. Maybe a gain of about 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 8, 2nd and 7.
I like that the Tornadoes are trying to be creative. Throw everything you've got at this Mount Zion defense and see how they respond. You at least do your part, and then you see what happens.
But this is a good test, though, for Taylorville for the playoffs. Look, they're going to most likely win against Civic Memorial next week, even if they struggle here today. But this is a good test for what they're going to see when they get to these playoff games. Taylorville going to have to figure out ways to find the end zone, especially without Isaac Repsher. Nothing going on that one. Pulled down in the backfield, and guys still getting pulled down long after it was done. No real gain for Mateer on that one. And it'll be back to the line of scrimmage no more. It'll be a 3rd and 8.
The offensive line needs to bring the intensity we saw going into the second quarter, at the start of the second quarter, on their previous drive. That's what allowed them to really sustain the drive as they had attempted to take the lead.
Well, you just need one play to make a difference here, and Taylorville looking for that one big play. Smith in the shotgun. Ball at the 20-yard line on 3rd and 8 of their own territory. Smith marking instructions, now gets the ball, looking to throw. One-on-one matchup again, and caught. A fantastic catch, and he breaks free. Down to the 30, 25, 20. It's a foot race. Down to the 10. No one's going to grab him. And in for the score is Malik Pierce. Taylorville within 2. Cameron Smith with a great one-on-one matchup to Malik Pierce. Pierce races down the sideline, broke the 1 tackle, somehow popped out on the other side and able to easily get his way in on a foot race on that far right side.
And just another look on Tommy TV, and you can see that's exactly what they were going for. This catch even better than the one Yonker made earlier, not just because of the fact that they scored the touchdown. Perfect placement, and it caught Pierce right in his stride, and he was always going to beat the defender from that point, as long as he could break the tackle. Great stuff from Pierce. He's been kind of in and out of these last few games in terms of making some of the big plays, makes a statement here. And the Tornadoes, of course, down 2 with the conversion to come.
Taylorville's going to go for 2 here to try to tie this game up. 14-12. Cameron Smith lines up with Owen Mateer right next to him. Goal line package. Looking to throw. The throw left-hand side, and it is incomplete. Incomplete. Pass was intended. I didn't see, but Owen Yonker was the intended target on that one. Yonker was not able to bring it down, but Taylorville with a big touchdown from Malik Pierce. An 80-yard touchdown for Malik Pierce. 80-yard run, or 80-yard pass, excuse me, and Taylorville within 2. It's 14-12. You're listening to WTIM, your information station. Welcome back to Taylorville Tornado Football. Another touchdown, another $10 to Skewers Coffee. Donating $10 for every Tornado touchdown scored this season. Taylorville trails this one 14-12, but I told you Taylorville needed to start trying to match. You can't beat Mount Zion if you're going to go touchdown against field goal. But Malik Pierce able to make that happen, now kicking it into the end zone. And Mount Zion will start the ball at their own 20-yard line, but Taylorville defense is going to have to step up here, because if Mount Zion scores here with 3:34 left, they will also get the ball starting in the third quarter. The Taylorville is going to need to figure out a way to slow down this vaunted Mount Zion offense.
I do feel like this last score will galvanize the defense a little bit, but they need to be aggressive. They need to have grit, which is something that they've been outmatched in this game at times, actually really on both sides of the ball.
Well, you said you were looking for the big play. Was that big enough for you?
Well, that one helps. They need more of it, though.
Ball in the far hash mark. Quick throw over the near side. Caught. Taylor right there, though, on the screen, and easily feeding that one as Ricky Jones has nowhere to go on the pass from Keller Sox.
And that is the first screen stop Taylorville's been able to make in this game. Now, they can't rely on plays like that because Mount Zion has plenty of ways to attack. But a good read here. And that was a good play that time by Landon Patterson to get away from the block and make the tackle.
Ball in the near hash mark. Taylorville trying to fire back here. Defense rushing 4. Ball on the near side. Stocks looking to throw again. Plenty of time. Grabbed the middle and caught. Another slant pattern that just simply found the first down marker, raced right past it, and then gets pulled down around the 32-yard line on that one to J.C. Anderson. Taylorville needing to do a good job of keeping the future Ole Miss star in check. J.C. Anderson able to get a first down there. Big tight end.
He got the touchdown earlier, now gets a crucial first down here, so Anderson's making the big plays.
6'7", 243-pound senior. JC's huge. Right side. Plenty of room. And a penalty flag is down. This might be against Mount Zion. Now we'll wait and see what the officiating crew says the penalty is, but it looks like this one's coming back. And at least in this first half, Taylorville has played penalty-free football. There's a big reason why they're only down by 2. Sure enough, it is against Mount Zion.
That backs them up, and with 2:24 left in the second quarter, now you're thinking you really want to get a stop if you're Taylorville, because you might, depending on how things go, have time to get the ball back and maybe mount a drive.
So the holding penalty will bring up a 1st and 20 from Mount Zion's own 23. They have to get down to the 43 to pick up a 1st down. Handoff. Tries to cut over to the right side and then over the left side, but Taylorville right there, still churning forward and gets about a gain of about 5, but that'll bring up a 2nd and 15. Another flag comes in. This one really late. The play was already over when the flag came in, so this is going to be a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty most likely, but who will it be on? It'll be against Mount Zion again. Well, you know how this goes, Reed. The first player does not get the penalty. It's usually the big brother that gets punished, right? So Mount Zion probably reacting to something that Taylorville did will send them back a little bit farther.
And this is the first time that they've really been bossed around, at least when the Braves have been on offense in this game. So possibly just a little bit difficult for them to handle. Now if that happened after the play, yep, that indeed should still be 2nd down. So now it's 2nd down and even longer. Well, this is really long. It's almost like half the field at this point.
2nd and 29 from the 14. This is the worst field position that Mount Zion has had all game long, and it comes with 2:04 left here in the 2nd quarter. Taylor would love nothing more than take a lead going into halftime, and a timeout called by Mount Zion. Nope. Yeah, timeout called by Taylorville, excuse me. So Taylorville calls the timeout. Timeout's brought to you by TCCU.
And Mount Zion needed the timeout one way or the other. Let's take another look on Tommy TV at the touchdown earlier. Oh, look at that. What a perfect throw. And actually, the defender there, that's Jacob Harvey, the defensive back, got a little more of an initial grab than what we may have suggested earlier. And Pierce doing really well to shrug that one off. How many big plays has Malik Pierce made this season?
He also did really, really well to not get a penalty there at the end and just keep his celebration to a minimum. We've seen him get in trouble before for maybe a little bit of excess celebrating, but he was able to keep himself in check there. And because of that, Taylorville finds themselves within 2 with a big opportunity. Mount Zion leads 14-12, 2:04 left here in the first half. And it has been an absolute close football game here, at least in the first half. Taylorville was also tied with Mount Zion, 14-14 at halftime on the road. Playing here in front of this home crowd's got to feel pretty good for this Taylorville team. They need to stop right here. Mount Zion needs to get to the 43 to get a 1st down, 2nd and forever. Here's a look at the throw. Throws over the left-hand side, and it's caught near the original line of scrimmage, so that'll bring up a 3rd and 10. And now another flag comes in on the Mount Zion sideline. This might be a late hit on Taylorville. It should be crushing for this Tornado team.
That would be enough for a 1st down if that's the case.
J.C. Anderson with the reception.
Another look on Tommy TV as the pass comes in. Good catch as he's able to get up. And that was Anderson, as you mentioned.
So it is a late hit from Taylorville.
And a 1st down.
And that is just absolutely crushing for this Taylorville team. It was 2nd and 29, and it's now 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line.
Completely changes the complexion of this end of the 2nd quarter.
Unbelievable. So Taylorville will set up defensively. Ready to go here on the far hash mark. Hands off again. No room there and pulled down quickly. On the run from Kellen Bullhorst. Be 2nd and 10 from the 50.
Leroy, the wind is really picked up away from the Tommy TV picture. The tent over the TV setup on Taylorville's side actually was blown over.
And ladies and gentlemen, actually, that's a good point. This weekend is supposed to be extremely windy, so just keep that in mind. We're not expecting any rain tonight. There is some heavy rain expected to come through the area tomorrow. Roll over the near side. Looking to throw, now fakes it, then gets pulled down. Great job from Taylorville. He was trying to throw and then decided just to hold on to it. But Taylorville was right in there and brought him down, including Gabe Machad, who was in on the tackle.
And if nothing else, Taylorville just wants to make this Mount Zion team work. They haven't always had to do that in this game. So just forcing that extra effort there from the quarterback, Stocks. You can see how many times he has to cut around.
63 seconds left. Ball on the near side. 3rd and 7 from the 47. Mount Zion needs to get to the 40. Taylorville struggled on third down situations in this game. Crowd is loud. And now a timeout called by the Braves. Yeah, Mount Zion's calling the timeout to try to get on the same page as they saw what the defense had set up. So 44 seconds left here in this one. Taylorville leads 14-12. You're listening to WTIM, your information station. Back in just a moment. Taylorville 3-4 defense here as they try to make a stop on this. 3rd and 7 from the 47. 44 seconds left here in the first half. Look at the throw. Stocks rolling out to his near side. Being heavily chased. Gets rid of it. Caught. And who else but J.C. Anderson again down to the 25.
The Tornado defense did well to rush Stocks there. The problem is they left one receiver open deep down as they convert on the 3rd down.
14-12, Mount Zion leads. 33 seconds left, clock running. Braves, Stock looking to throw. Quick throw, near side. Caught, and then pulled out of bounds near the Taylorville sideline as Brody Lippa was pulled out of bounds. They'll stop the clock with 23 seconds left. Ball at the 25-yard line.
And now Mount Zion gets to play a little bit conservatively if they want. Now, of course, they'd like a touchdown, go 2 scores up, and get the ball to start the second half. But they don't need to rely too much on the big play.
Ball actually at the 23-yard line. 2nd and 7.
You okay? Snap is taken. He rolls left.
Left side, now trying to find some room. Still on his feet. Stock runs into a wall and then gets pulled down. He'll be short and he'll be in, which is important. So Mount Zion will be forced to take another timeout here with 11 seconds left. 14-12, it'll be 11 seconds on the clock as of right now. They might change that a little bit depending on what the officials rule, but the timeout called by the Braves. They have 1 timeout remaining. And with with the 11 seconds left, Mount Zion will try to get it in from the 14-yard line. Taylorville scored first. It was 3-0. Mount Zion answered back with a touchdown of their own. That made it 7-3. Taylorville then got another field goal, made it 7-6. Mount Zion added another touchdown, make it 14 on a huge run from Stocks. And then Taylorville's Malik Pierce answered with a long run of his own, and that made it 14-12. That's where we sit right now. Taylorville had Mount Zion dead to rights. It was 3rd and 29, but a roughing or a late hit unsportsmanlike conduct penalty came in, which gave the Braves new life, and they've raced down the field and now sit at the 14-yard line. That's where they set up shop here at the 1st and 10. But field's not a field's not a problem. It's the time left on the clock. 11 seconds left. I would imagine they'll have 1 shot to make it in the end zone, maybe 2, but then they'll have to use that last timeout to set up for a field goal. The table will have their work cut out for him here as they try to stop Stocks. Stocks looking to throw. Left side, now just releases it down the end zone and incomplete. Somebody broke it up. I couldn't see who it was, but it was Max Rivera. Rivera broke it up. Great job from Rivera, and that'll bring up a second and 10, but 6 seconds left. And Mount Zion will. And now hold on a second. Gabe Mashad was the one who broke up the pass. So Mashad was the one who broke it up. Ball's on the very, very far side of the field, and there was about 4 Tornadoes that were there. Now with 6 seconds left, Mount Zion does get to keep their timeouts. They're going to try one last time for the end zone here. Look for a quick play, maybe just even to set up shop near the middle of the field. Let's see what they do. It is, and hit immediately, and that's it. We're out of time. They ran out of time, and not in the end zone, and Taylorville will take it. They'll head to the locker room, 14-12. A throw up the middle that Taylorville was right there to slow down.
The referee is saying go back. The referee is telling the Taylorville bench to go back.
And now the Braves, or the referees, are giving Mount Zion a second on the clock.
Goes down. Unfortunately, we don't have the clock in view as well on Tommy TV, but that was a close decision.
So the Braves will get a chance to kick a field goal. Unbelievable. That's ridiculous. So the referees are giving them time to kick a field goal, an open play. I don't agree. And now the referees are blowing a whistle again, as Taylorville now is taking a timeout. Unbelievable. I don't know where what?
No, I'm just standing in shock.
Okay,
because
I thought you had something.
Well, that is sometimes the case, but the scoreboard says that Mount Zion still has a timeout. So if they had used it right at the end of that play, then they should be out, and there should also be at least 1 second on the clock. So not understanding what's happening.
It's almost like they're giving Mount Zion a free play. That's what it looks like, at least from our standpoint. Now, mind you, we're up here and we don't have the referees mic'd up or anything, but not that big of a so not quite sure. Now if there is, here's the thing. If it's a first down, they get a moment to reset the clock, but there was no first down there. So Mount Zion will kick here. Gabe Shoemaker will go for it. Wind blowing right to left. Holding is Cohen Elwick. Shoemaker to kick. Kick is up. And through the uprights as time expires. So a ridiculous play allows a field goal to happen. Mount Zion will head to halftime up 17-12. I'm going to go try to find an explanation for what that was. You're listening to WTIM, your information station, but Mount Zion leads this one 17-12 here at halftime. We'll be back in just a little bit. You're listening to WTIM, your information station. Anybody know what the hell that was? That was awful. It wasn't the first down, though.
assistant to this year's band is Mr. Darren Holthouse. The marching Tornado Band is led on the field by drum major Chase Clayton.
The Tornado Marching Band will be performing their 2025-2026 field show titled Dark Horse by Randall Standridge, featuring The Dark Horse, Nightmare, Under the Red Moon, and Midnight Ride.
Drum major Chase Clayton, is your band ready? Tornado Marching Band, the field is yours. Welcome your Taylorville Tornado dance team for their performance this week, which is led by Lucy Stromberg.
This is how we do it, do it. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. It's how we do it. It's Friday night, and I feel alright. The party's here on the west side. Gotta get your groove on before you go get paid. So tip up your cup and throw your hands up and let me hear the party say, I'm kind of buzzed and it's all because this is how we do it. Bounce and flip the track, bring the old school back. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Our hands are in the air and waver from here to there. If you're an OG Mac or I wanna be player, you see the hood's been good to me ever since I was a lowercase G. But now I'm a big G. The girls see I got the money, $100 bill, y'all. If you were from where I'm from, then you would know. So tip up your cup and throw your hands up and let me hear the party say, I'm kind of buzzed, it's all because this is how we do it. Ooh, something trip does it like nobody does. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Do it. Flip the track for the old school back. This is how we do it. Do it.
For Purple
And if you
Rain.
please stand for the
Tonight,
playing of the toilet.
Tonight they are MCs for Purple Rain, so I'm going to ask them a few questions about what exactly Purple Rain is. So what is your favorite thing about Purple Rain?
I'd say my favorite thing about Purple Rain is just being together as a community in a school, cheering for one reason.
And my favorite thing is really just as a collective getting together and just cheering so loud.
And what do you think the energy brings to each game that you guys do?
I think the energy is having a whole school back behind you, all the boys on the field, knowing that we're getting hyped for them to win, and they have all that support.
Giving the boys a support system and making them feel encouraged to complete the game.
All right, thank you guys so much. Back to you.
half and look at these two teams and what they've been able to do. Both sides having some things that they like, but Reed, both sides having some things that they don't like as well. Talk a little bit about what you've seen from this Taylorville team here in this first half.
Well, we've seen, in terms of what we liked, good play there from Cameron Smith, the quarterback, good decision making in some of those plays. The intensity from Taylorville has it certainly grew going into the second quarter, and then near the end, they got let down a little bit from the penalty. It was the 2nd and 29, and then there was a 3rd down conversion from Mount Zion. And now they need to collect themselves after the way the first half ended, which was a bit controversial, as Mount Zion managed to snag an extra play to then kick a field goal right in the final seconds, or really as time expired in the first half.
So after talking to a few people, it turns out, from what I understand, and we can argue about whether or not, Mount Zion head coach said, hey, when the play is done, we're going to call a timeout. All right. Now the question is, was there time still left on the clock when the tackle was made at the 6? That's the question. So the timeout was approved to be called. So they were going to call that timeout, but I just wonder if there was enough time left on the clock when they kicked that. And the referee said there was, obviously, because they went ahead and did it. But still a little bit of frustration if you're Taylorville, especially with how that ended, because you thought they took up those last 6 seconds and finished off heading to the locker room only down by 2. So a 17-12 lead for Mount Zion here at halftime. Some other games that are going on around the conference here this evening, as Muhammad Seymour is hosting Charleston. Charleston 1-6, Muhammad Seymour 4-3, Effingham 3-14 on Mattoon 1-6, and Mount Zion, of course, taking on Taylorville here in this one. And while Mount Zion is 6-1, Taylorville is 4-3. This is still a pretty big game, simply because both of them are Taylorville is 3-1 in conference, and Mount Zion is 4-0 in conference. So a win from Taylorville here would give them at least a share of the conference championship, and they are trying to stay pace with this Mount Zion team, who leads 17-12 here at halftime. All right, Reed, if Taylorville wants to come back in this game here in the second half, talk a little bit about what this Taylorville team needs to do if they want to do that.
Well, they need to start by getting a good stop. I'm pretty sure every drive in this game, if I'm not mistaken, has ended in points. So
correct.
They need to...
But that's true for both sides.
For both sides. Every drive in this entire game so far, scoring points. So, stop here is going to be crucial. You're down 5 points. So, a touchdown then of course makes it a 2-score game. So,
but I think you're right, Reed. I do. That 2nd and 29 where they were able to get the first down, when they go back to this game, regardless of whether Taylorville wins or loses, they're going to go back to that play and look at that play and say, hey, this is what happened, or this is not what happened.
So you're correct about that. And of course, part of that was the unforced error of the late hit at the end of that drive. So that'll be something else to think about. We've seen plenty of that from both teams in this game. So it's just a matter of collecting yourselves after some of what happened near the end of the first half and trying to get some good stops. Taylorville at times seemed to get a little better with that in that last drive, and it was just those penalties and then the 3rd down play later that let them down.
All right, so as we said, when you look at the first half of this game and what the first half was, a lot of comparisons to the Mahomet game. Taylorville was tied with Mahomet 14-14 at halftime, and were really playing some good football. Mahomet came out, scored pretty much immediately at the start of the 3rd quarter, and never looked back. Taylorville made a couple of mistakes there as well, which led to the big lopsided win for Mahomet. Taylorville in another similar situation here. That last field goal, Taylorville can either say, you know what, let's just brush it off and play, or it's going to affect them. So Taylorville are really going to need to stick to their guns, especially here in the first 5 minutes, because Mahomet gets the ball to start this second half. So we'll have to see how Taylorville defense does as they match up against a dangerous Mount Zion team. And You know, J.C. Anderson is everything we thought he was. The future player for Ole Miss has been absolutely phenomenal. Good blocking, good movement, able to make open plays. When you're 6'7", I feel like you don't got to do a whole lot of work to be able to make good catches, but J.C. is everything as advertised. And Taylorville needing to figure out a way to slow him down a little bit. He has not been the only weapon that Mount Zion has had, but he has been a big weapon for this Braves team as they lead by 5 here as we start the third quarter. Braves lead this one 17-12. Taylorville trying to get a conference tie for the championship. They're going to need to have a huge second half. Next 24 minutes are going to be crucial. Here we go. Ben Peabody to kick. He has been an absolute godsend for this Taylorville team. He has moved into the starting spot for kicker and has not looked back, sending multiple kicks in the end zone. In fact, he has only missed one field goal on the year and has not missed an extra point yet. Rolls out to the 15, cuts over the left-hand side, now down to the 20. Missed tackle, is still on his feet, and then pulled down around the 25 on the initial takeout. And that's where Mount Zion will start the second half from their own 25-yard line.
And I expect a lot of those varied plays as well from Mount Zion. Let's see what kinds of plays they draw up, what they go with as they start the third quarter, trying to put themselves 2 scores ahead. They haven't been 2 scores ahead in this game. That could create a lot of problems for Taylorville the rest of the night if they can take it all the way.
Well, and so far Taylorville's done a really good job of matching what Mount Zion has put out. Touchdown, field goal, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, touchdown, field goal. And that's been the scoring so far here in this one. Now in stagger step formation for Mount Zion as play goes up the middle. Carter Stocks right up the gut and then hands it off and then pulled down for a gain of about 6 on the play on the near side on the carry from Mount Zion on that one. So it'll bring up the carry was from Kellen Bullhorst as Keller Stocks, the quarterback for Mount Zion, has a 2nd and 3 from the 33 in the third quarter with all 3 timeouts for both sides. Now Stocks rolls over to the left-hand side, cuts forward, enough for a first down and then some, and then gets pulled down around the 40-yard line. In on the stop was Blake Ladage.
The Taylorville defense already getting bossed in the early goings of the third quarter. Mount Zion's done well to take good advantage of it, get some extra yards, but really bully the Tornadoes.
But we saw that in the first half too, Reed, where the defenders were just throwing the Taylorville Tornado running backs just around like rag dolls. The Braves trying to figure out a way to keep doing that here in the third. Taylorville trying to put a stop to it. Stocks throws right at the middle and caught at the 50-yard line, immediately pulled down on the reception made by Brody Lippa. It'll be a 2nd and 1. Maybe 2nd and 2. Yeah, 2nd and 1 from the 50.
And Stocks has had great awareness in this game, just seeing those open receivers, and they've been simple catches to make.
The Mount Zion will have to get out to the 50-yard or 49-yard line to pick up a first down. They have not had too many issues with moving the ball this evening, and they're going to keep trying to do that here with this drive. Handoff. The gut, and he does have enough for the first down, but a big stop right up the gut on that one. Has no real run for Bullhorse, but enough to get the first down. So the 1st and 10 from the 49 for Mount Zion and Keller Stocks. The Braves trying to continue their streak of scoring on every single drive that they've had. Of course, they haven't had many drives. They've had 3. Scored on all 3 of them. Taylorville defense, for the most part, has been doing its job. Mount Zion has not really been trying to do too much with it. There was the one big play from Keller Stocks, but that was simply because of a breakdown from our defense. Run up the middle there, or run up the near side on that one. Pulled down from behind, and a good stop made by Taylorville. As there was nowhere to go for it on that run on the near side. The tackle was made by...
6 on the play will be Mount Zion with a 2nd and 4 from the Taylorville 42-yard.
I can't see the number. 2:17, 12, 9:19 left here in the second. Keller Stocks in the shotgun. Trips left. Braves will try to get a first down here. Another throw, just about a 5-yard throw, but Taylorville right there to bring him down on the reception made by Braden Maxey. And again, read the game plan for Mount Zion is just do a little bit of a slant route, find some space in the middle of the field, 5-yard, 6-yard gain, just repeat.
I think it was Jacob Harvey on the end of that one, and that's quickness to get into that position. I think that was only a full second.
3rd and 1 from the near side. Stocks in the shotgun, Bullhorse next to him, trips left. One lone wide receiver on the near side. Throws, looking to throw, now rolls over the right, and being yelled up in the backfield and pulled down on a sack. Huge sack for Taylorville. As that one gets absolutely obliterated in the backfield, pulled down by Brock Walton, number 66. And now, Braden Kirk has been credited with the sack. Stocks was in there as well, but Braden Kirk is given this. And I'll bring up a 4th down, 6.
Some of the Taylorville folks actually thought it was a fumble, but you still get the 4th down. That's still a good stop if you're the Tornadoes.
So Mount
intensity's coming back.
So Mount Zion showing to punt, and if you're Taylorville, I wouldn't trust this to save my life. Malik Pierce is back to receive. Guys, be vigilant. Be vigilant. A flag comes in. The punt is away. Pierce calls fair catch and gets it at the 15, 16-yard line, but a flag does come in right at the start of the play, and we'll have to see what the penalty is here on this one. Flag flew high up in the air. It's going to be a penalty against Mount Zion. False start on the Braves. And let's see who moved. That was a close one. But Taylorville will take it. So Taylorville declines the penalty and takes over. And for the first time today, Reed, a team has had to punt.
First time today, and Taylorville will feel good that they were the ones who were able to force it out of Mount Zion for the first time.
So Taylorville will take over, 1st and 10 at their own 15, and Cameron Smith will go to work here. The backup junior quarterback has a solid first half, wanting to see a little bit more here in the second. Motion. Now sets. And the snap. Looking to throw. Quick throw to the right-hand side, and no one there. Not sure what happened on that one. The pass fell in between no man's land. Looked like it was supposed to be a screenplay, but either no one was paying attention or movement didn't happen the way that it was supposed to. Cameron held the ball and moved over the right-hand side. There was just nobody there.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if someone was supposed to make a run or if it was just an inaccurate throw.
Or both.
Or both. Could be.
2nd and 10 from the 16-yard line. Now tries to find some room on the near side. Pulls forward and then gets pulled down. And a huge loss for Taylorville on that one. So it'll be a huge loss on the play, and they'll bring up a 3rd down. Not a huge loss, only 3rd and 12 now, but 3rd and 11. They gave them forward progress, which helped tremendously, but now Taylorville in a tough situation here as they are trying to avoid punting for the first time here today. Getting some last words of wisdom from the sideline. Split set, 2 on each side. Cameron Smith in shotgun, looking to throw. Plenty of time, now runs forward, now being chased, but breaks free, down to the 25, 20, 30, and then pulled down near the 32, and enough for a first down. Cameron Smith with the carry.
That was a gutsy run there. I thought he had time in the pocket to at least find someone. Another look on Tommy TV. Look at that, he could have stepped in, as that was a late block that time from Logan Ostiff, which then actually made some room for the run. And Smith did well, cut back inside. I thought he actually could have gone towards the outside, maybe got some more yards that way, but he still gets the first.
Very reminiscent of Baron Odom, and now another flag comes in, and a penalty against Taylorville.
That's an illegal shift.
The Taylorville will back up 5 yards before the play even gets ready to go here. But Baron Odom used to do that kind of stuff all the time. Take a couple steps forward, find a little bit of space, and then just take off running. Pick up 10, 15 yards every time. But Cameron Smith able to do that there, although 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. It will be a first down, but it'll be 1st and 15 from the 27. One lone wide receiver on each side. Smith hands off, loose handoff, and no one was there. And Taylor was lucky that wasn't fumbled away on that one, as Spencer Brown had nowhere to go on that carry.
So you had the one good running play there from Cameron Smith, and otherwise it's really not gone well for Taylorville in this drive. And this is just the easy stuff, the stuff that you should have down as you go through it in practice and then, of course, in the game.
Both sides making those adjustments at halftime, and you're seeing that adjustment here in this start of this third quarter as both teams trying to figure out what they want to do moving forward. And you're starting to see a little bit of the settling down as the two sides get into this game. Try to get into the dog day minutes of this third quarter. Cameron Smith now rolls out to his right side. Looking to throw, he does, and it's caught, but no real gain on the play, and then pulled down around the 26, maybe 27-yard line, gain of about 3. It will not be enough, though. It'll be a 3rd and 7 from Taylorville's own 28-yard line. And I take that back. It will be 3rd and 14 from the 28. They got to get all the way down to the 43. Pick up a first down. Trips left for Cameron Smith. And movement from Mount Zion. And Taylor will take the 5 yards. So it'll be 3rd and 9 now instead of the 3rd and 14. Another penalty from the Braves, and Taylorville going to take credit for that one.
That's a 2nd or 3rd offside call that's gone against Mount Zion in this game. Now this gives Taylorville a manageable 3rd down. Now they just need to do the easy stuff to make this play.
And what we said was, look, Taylorville needs to capitalize on these mistakes.
Yes.
Trips left, one on the top. Cameron getting some last-minute instructions. Both sides are audibling here. Cameron sets, marks instructions, and gets the ball. Looking to throw. Takes a couple steps forward, now breaks free. Near side down to the 40, 42, and then pulled down close to the first down marker, and now a flag comes in. Hey, man, you're up in the press box. You can't be yelling like that. Let's go. I know. He's your brother. I got it. You got to relax, man. You got to relax and be cool. 17-12 in favor of Mount Zion. A good run on that one from Cameron Smith. We'll see what the flag is here as came in late in the play. And a slow to get up Tornado. He's all right, though. It's Cameron Smith that was late to get up. Last thing Taylorville needs is Cameron getting hurt. Oh, it was Malik Pierce that was slow to get up, not Cameron. It was Malik Pierce that was slow to get up. He'll come off the field. The 8 and 0 looking very similar to my eyes. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. It was Malik Pierce that was slow to come off the field. He's going to get some water. He'll be all right. And it'll be first and 10 from the 48-yard line. Cameron sets up, shotgun. Hands off again, near side, tries to push forward, but a wall of white, and everyone goes flying backwards as Mateer did not able to gain much on that one. Mateer's had a tough game here so far in this one.
I'm not loving the purple numbers on black. Now the gold outline does help somewhat, but I feel like if the entire number were gold, that would be a lot easier. So.
I called a game down in Kentucky where they wore black jerseys with black numbers and no outline.
I think I've told you about
other you've called a couple games that have been like that.
Yeah.
Awful. Trips to right for Taylorville. It's 17-12 in favor of Mount Zion. Tornadoes from their own 47. Cameron Smith in trouble. He gets sacked in the backfield. It's going to be a huge loss of about 7 on the play. And frustration for Taylorville, especially frustration from Cade Schimmelfending, who immediately did a push-up for allowing that run into the backfield. 3rd and 16 from the 42 for the Braves. Taylorville trying to get into Mount Zion territory. It's been a long drive here, 3:06. Long drive, and really, Reed, not a whole lot to show for it. Cameron Smith sets up here looking for instructions. 2 up top, 1 on the bottom for Tornadoes. Blake Lash on the near side. Cameron looking towards his right, now throws it towards Blake, but Blake slipped and it gets picked off. So Blake was supposed to run down, but he lost his footing, and it'll be intercepted by the Braves since Mount Zion ball at the 24-yard line.
And an unfortunate slip there. Well read. The defensive back got the foot in bounds. Here's another look on Tommy TV. You'll see, well, you don't see Smith look to his left side because of the crowd of players. And here's a look at the interception. That was Brody Lipa. Oh yeah, he got the heel in bounds.
So Mount Zion will come out onto the field trying to do a little bit better than their last drive where they were forced to punt after making it down the field quite a ways. And they'll be 1st and 10 from the 24. Braves on the near side. 2:43 left in this third quarter. Big stand here for Taylorville defense. Rushing 4. Handoff left. Nope, it's going to be Kellen holding on to it. Stocks gets all the way down to the close to the first down marker, and it's going to be enough for a first down down to the 37.
There just hasn't been that coverage where the linebackers are lined up. You can see they're either rushing or dropping deep or wide, and plenty of room to run in and get the first down. That's easy stuff there for Stocks.
Split set, 2 on each side for Mount Zion. Fullerhouse in the running back. Handoff is made to the left-hand side, finds a little bit of room, and then cuts forward, still on his feet past the 50, then down out of bounds around the 45-yard line for Jacob Harvey. Mount Zion with a big run right there. We're approaching the 2-minute mark here in this third quarter. 17-12, and what was a high-scoring first half. Well, maybe not high-scoring, but scoring on every drive in that first half. It's kind of stalled out here a little bit in this third quarter, but Mount Zion nursing a 17-12 lead and driving right now after the interception from Cameron Smith. And now, false start on the offense for Mount Zion.
Well, Taylorville has not been able to really punish Mount Zion in this game. I mean, you had the major penalties earlier in the second quarter, and now this one. I think they had, well, yeah, that's right. On the previous drive, there was the offside call, and Taylorville still unable to convert. Well, I think they converted on that first down, but not on the subsequent one, and it's given, or actually, rather, they threw the interception. I'm forgetting what's happening in this game. But now another chance to maybe punish them.
1st and 15 from the 49. Mount Zion goes to work here after the false start. And the Braves have had quite a few penalties here this evening. They did get courtesy of the field goal, which is really the difference maker here in this one. 17-12 in favor of the Braves with 2:08 left here in the third quarter. Keller Stocks punches forward, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and they'll bring up a 2nd and 10, maybe 2nd and 9 from the 46. Under 2 minutes left here in this third quarter, and Taylorville chewed up a huge chunk of that third quarter. They're going to really be looking at trying to have a little bit of better ball control, and that's just from Cameron being, for lack of a better word, a rookie, and just trying to get rid of the ball there. And I don't necessarily know if that was even his fault, just because Blake got held up there at the line. So, Braves split set, 2 on each side. Keller Stocks has motion. Harvey gets the ball. Tries to run a sweep on the near side. 3 Taylorville Tornadoes, and he gets to out of bounds. And I'll bring up a 3rd and manageable, 3rd and 6, maybe 3rd and 7 on that one. So after a 1st and 15, it's now 3rd and 7. And a big, big third down here for the Taylorville Tornadoes.
Considering where they're at, the 43, the opponent's 43-yard line for Mount Zion, and how much time has run out here so far in the third quarter. Remember, Taylorville they'll get the ball back at some point, and then they'll have to make quick work to try to get back into this game.
All right, so 3rd and 7 from the 43, 17-12 in favor of Mount Zion. Trying to get a first down here. They need to get to the 37 to be able to do that. Stocks rolls forward, now cuts over the near side, being chased by a couple of men in black. Enough for a first down, then some, and then out of bounds on the Taylorville sideline. Stocks picks it up, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the 35.
Well, I would expect men in black to do better here as Stocks has to evade some amount of pressure, then he just outruns his opponents.
Taylorville crowd not thrilled with where the ball was spotted, but at least from my angle, it looked correct. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Quiet Mount Zion crowd, or quiet Taylorville crowd here with 64 seconds left, although this crowd has been loud at times this evening. And it's starting to get loud here again. Handoff. Woolhouse forward and pulled down around the 26-yard line. Taylor would love nothing more than to pick up a fumble here, but they're going to have their work cut out for them as Mount Zion driving now here after it was 1st and 15. 2nd and 1 from the 26. 42 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter, which is going to set up a fairly significant 4th quarter, especially if Taylorville can get a stop here and force a field goal. It's only a 5-point game. Taylorville has everyone back. Stocks, quick throw left side, is caught and then pulled down enough for a first down and down at around the 21, 22-yard line. Harvey with the reception on that one. Just found some space in the middle of the field. The game plan that Mount Zion's been doing all game long. Little slant routes have been just picked up easily.
How about the skill there from Harvey? He had to stretch his arms out to make that grab and set up another first down as we get to the end of the 3rd quarter.
So that'll reach the end of the 3rd quarter. Mount Zion leads this one 17-12, threatening here. You're listening to WTIM, your information station. Welcome back to Taylorville Tornado Football. Here as Tornadoes trail in this one, 17-12. It's been an absolute close game here between two squads that are trying to finish on top. If Mount Zion wins, they win the conference outright. If Taylorville wins, they will have a share of the conference title with the Braves. And they're trying to do just that here and pick up a conference win. And, boy, they've got their work cut out for them. But, you know, an interception here and a pick six, and Taylorville is going to be looking pretty here with 12 minutes left in the fourth. But they need to make a stop on this one. Mount Zion sets up shop, 1st and 10 from the 21 of Taylorville. Keller Stocks looking to throw. Rolls out to his right and then throws it all alone and immediately hit as he made the catch, and he is slow to get up. Both guys absolutely came crunching together on the reception made by Brody Lippa. Lippa is up now. It will be a 1st and goal, but a great catch and an even better hit on that far side.
No concern in terms of timing for pass interference, although that is certainly a concern in terms of safety.
And that was Havera with the big hit. My goodness. Now run over the right-hand side. It's going to be in for the score on the touchdown from who else but J.C. Anderson. So J.C. Anderson making quick work there, and it's 23-12.
A couple of effective plays by Mount Zion to start the fourth quarter. And certainly the pass there playing a big role. And that's a big score as they go up 2 scores.
2-yard reception for J.C. Anderson, and it's 23-12 in favor of the Braves. Well, I would imagine we'll go for 2 here, although don't quote me on that. Now a flag comes in, maybe for illegal substitution or something. Too many men in the huddle. Let's see. The flag did come in. We'll figure out what it was. He's checking with Taylorville to see what they want to do. So this is going to go against Mount Zion. And you know what the penalty is, Reed? They're going to take away all 23 points from Mount Zion. That's the penalty.
Yeah, if only. Oh, but in this case, just an unsportsmanlike conduct.
Come on, I got to try.
Well, yeah, no, it was a good effort. Good effort. I'll applaud that.
So, well, I'm not quite sure. It's going to be on the unless it's going to be on the kickoff.
I think they said kickoff.
All right, so 23-12, and again, Braves going for 2 to try to keep this a 2, and now a timeout called by Taylorville as they're going to try to figure out how they want to slow down this 2-point conversion for Mount Zion. 23-12 in favor of the Braves. Taylor would love nothing more than to get a stop here, but they do trail by 2 scores, and they're going to need to figure out what they want to do moving forward to try to make quick work here and get some points after the interception from Cameron Smith led to eventually a touchdown on a long drive from Mount Zion. Taylorville will head on the road next week as they take on Civic Memorial. As Taylorville, if they aren't able to win today, will try to secure a playoff spot with a win next week, as that will have pregame at 6:45. Reed, have you ever been out to Civic Memorial before?
I have never been there, so it'll be a nice new spot there for myself. I mean, I guess I can say the same thing for all the other destinations we've been to, but it's a nice adventure, nice to see new places, see different parts of the state.
It's a great field, man. You're gonna love it. I love going down to Civic. Haven't gone there in a couple of years, but it's nice to have them back on the schedule. As Jason Hadley, the Taylorville athletic director, has done a fantastic job of getting some of these schools scheduled. Not easy job to do if you're the athletic director, but Jason does a fantastic job, and I want to give him a big shout out here this evening. All right. It is 23-12 in favor of the Braves. 11:40 left here in the fourth quarter. Taylorville leads this one. Rolls over the right side. J.C. Anderson runs it in for the score. And he's had 3 touchdowns here this evening, he's had all the touchdowns, and then him and Stocks have just been fantastic. And it's 25-12. You're listening to WTIM, your information station. Back in just a moment. And welcome back to Taylorville Tornadoes Football. Leroy Clamola here alongside Reed Camai. And excited to be here. Taylorville has some work to do. They find themselves down 25-12. All right, it's that time of the night. So we have a moment here before Mount Zion kicks. This is the time for you to call one of the best people around. And that's Tanya Bowser. It's time to call Tanya. Text Tanya, message her, say, hey, I heard you on the radio. Also, big shout out to our own Mackenzie Sneed, who is going through some stuff. We want to give you a big hello to Mackenzie. And now another flag comes in. My goodness. And it's going to be on Taylorville again. Another one. And so, now Zion will move forward. Illegal substitution on Taylorville.
The kickoff had been moved back 15 yards because of the unsportsmanlike conduct. So now it's a net difference of 10 yards in Taylorville's favor. Really an unforced error.
2 steps forward and 3 steps back. Paula Abdul, right? You ever heard the Paula Abdul song, Opposites Attract?
I feel like I should have.
I'm going to need you to play it tomorrow on the Saturday Request Show from 10 to 1. Selfless, shameless plug right there. Shameless plug. Ball goes in the end zone. Taylor will start at their own 20-yard line. 25-12 in favor of Mount Zion as Taylor gets ready to go here.
Well, the Tornadoes, they really need to collect themselves. Now down 13 points. There's plenty that hasn't gone their way in this game. Of course, you had the penalty just now for the illegal substitution. So now time to focus on, I'm sure they're thinking, they got to make a big play here. It's a matter of when that's going to happen as they have the ball here at the start of the fourth quarter.
Well, one of our keys of the game was don't get overwhelmed. If they get down by a little bit, don't panic. Play the football game that you know and love. Cameron in the shotgun. Hands off. Near the middle and then punches through on the halfback dive, getting all the way down to the 26-yard line on the carry from Owen Mateer. I'll bring up a 2nd and 4. A good run from Mateer. He struggled today to get some space. Was able to get a good run there on that one. Taylorville trying to get some points on the board here and preferably a touchdown. And hit in the backfield, nowhere to go on that one, and pulled down hard by multiple Braves. And sportsmanship there as he helps him back up, but a big hit there on Owen Mateer.
This is the time of the game when that offensive line needs to show some grit. Haven't seen it much, and they really struggled in their third quarter possession.
Ball on the near side as we get ready to go here. Cameron has Spencer Brown lined up next to him. Split set, 2 on each side. Cameron, low snap, but he recovers just fine. Now takes a couple steps forward and then gets pulled down in the backfield. And a big sack made by Mount Zion's Calvin Becker. Calvin Becker in on the sack. And I'll bring up a fourth and 9. Taylor will be forced to punt. So an attempt there to try to throw it over the left-hand side does not come to fruition. Cameron tried running there at the end, but it wasn't going to be enough. So Taylor will be forced to punt for first time here today. High snap, but recovered nicely. And not a great punt, but it does find some space and gets all the way down to the 47-yard line of Mount Zion. Or of Taylorville, excuse me. So Mount Zion will sit up shop on their own sideline. And they'll have 53 yards to go to pick up some points. 25-12 in favor of the Braves with 9:30 left here in the fourth quarter. Again, Taylorville on the road next week as they take on Civic Memorial before we find out what their playoff chances are. Again, Taylorville needs to win one of the next 2 games in order to get a playoff spot. They have some work here to do today, but they'll play a struggling Civic Memorial team on the road. Civic would love to play spoilers against Taylorville. Taylorville needs to make sure that that does not happen. Keller Stock coming in. Next to him is Bullhorse. Now a fumble. Loose ball. Taylorville lands on it. A bad fumble, and Mount Zion makes a mistake, and Taylorville takes over at their own 38-yard at Mount Zion's 38-yard line. I did not see who was. It was number 65, and that is Dontrell Franks, the big linebacker, able to land on the ball. And Dontrell Franks picking that one up and making it look easy there. So now Taylorville, Reed, absolutely needs to capitalize.
This is their best chance to capitalize, and the most important one as well, as that snap got away there from the quarterback Stocks.
Big shout out to some of the big guys. Logan Ostiff, Ace Boblet up front for Taylorville, been keeping Cameron Smith upright most of the game here. Not bad for your first true start. Cameron rolls out to his left, just dumps the pass and gets hit as he tries to throw it to Spencer Brown, but the pass falls incomplete and it'll be second down. And Mount Zion showing blitz and rushing blitz a whole lot more than what they were in the first half, and Cameron not really adjusting very well to it.
Well, it seems like that sort of blitzing is what they're trying to turn up, having not done so quite as much in this game. And again, like you said, Smith not really used to this sort of thing.
So it'll bring a 2nd and 10 on the incomplete pass. Cameron was hit hard at the end there. Smith, hands off, and again another hit in the backfield. And hit from both Mount Zion's Calvin Becker and Matthew Beaker. It'll be a third and 12 from the 40, and Taylorville not able to do anything after picking up the fumble. So Taylorville had a interception, and now Mount Zion has a fumble. Mount Zion was able to capitalize on that interception with points. Taylorville trying to do the same here. Trips left. One lone wide receiver on the near side, that's Wyatt Yonker. Cameron barking instructions on the audible. Now looking to throw. Cameron sets, takes a couple steps forward, now takes off running, and forward for about 2, maybe 3 yards, and gets pulled down around the 37-yard line, and now bring up a 4th and 10. 4th and 8, 4th and 9.
I reckon they go for it here, considering the game situation, considering where they're at. Not great range for punting, and also I think a bit too far, even for Ben Peabody, for a field goal.
It's crazy to think, though, that NFL kickers have no issue from kicking right there.
Yeah, especially nowadays. They've
been
really booming some kicks.
Yeah. Like 53 yards is like normal, and that's crazy to me. Because for the longest time, 53 yards was like the farthest a field goal kick ever was. Timeout called by Mount Zion. With 7:54 left here, 25-12. I want to thank our sponsors who allow us to be here. TCCU, official sponsor of the Taylorville Timeout. Senior Citizens of Christian County, exclusive sponsor of the Extra Point. Scooters Coffee will donate $10 for every Tornado touchdown that is made on the year, along with McDonald's. I'm loving it, where they love the Tornadoes and we love McDonald's. I also want to let you know that we will have our Nicole Patrick Country Financial Player of the Game, which we will announce at the end of today's broadcast. Mount Zion leading this one 25-12, 7:54 left. Taylorville does have the ball, but they have the ball at the 37-yard line, and they're going to need to get all the way down to the 28 in order to pick up a first down. Taylorville in business, but Cameron has not looked as good here in this third quarter as he did in the first half, and he's going to need to tighten things up just a little bit here moving forward. He has just looked a little bit shaky after that interception he threw. It kind of threw him off his game plan a little bit, so he's going to have to settle down here and come back in and try to make some plays happen.
I think that's the first big mistake he's had this season, considering, of course, he only played the latter half of the game last time out, and then so far tonight. So then it's just a test of resilience, and we're going to see that now.
Mateer lines up next to Smith. Split set, 2 on each side. Cameron, big fourth down here. Smith gets ready to throw. Now takes a couple steps forward, now does throw it, and it's caught! Wyatt Yonker again, down to the 18. Taylorville first down. What a huge game Wyatt Yonker has had here tonight.
Big play earlier in this game, and then a crucial catch that time as Taylorville again goes for that pass up the middle, goes a bit deeper than other occasions we've seen in this game. Here's another look on Tommy TV. Yeah, just great step into the pocket there, and then great throw.
Cameron, middle of the field. Hands off again. Now on the near side on a foot race. And gets pulled down from behind on the run. Nothing going for Spencer Brown. They'll bring up a 2nd and 9 from the 16-yard line with 7:13 left in the game. Taylorville has had some really big flashes of brilliance here this evening. And I know the score is showing 25-12, but listen, this is a very tough Mount Zion team. And if you're Taylorville, other than maybe one or two plays, you got to be pretty proud of their effort here this evening, especially if they're able to score here. Cameron rolls out to his left side, heavy foot pursuit, and then way high and nearly intercepted, but it's going to fall incomplete as no one was able to get there and pick it up. Ball was about 7 to 8 inches higher than what it needed to be to reach the Taylorville. Bring up 3rd and 9.
There's some shaking of the heads from the coaches there, as there just weren't those options for Cameron Smith to find on the wide side.
Well, and when you get moments like that, you have to capitalize. And it's a growing team, it's a young team, and Cameron trying to make the most here. And now another flag comes in. Movement from Mount Zion. Taylorville crowd cheering. And it was encroachment on Mount Zion. And Taylorville will move up. They'll bring up a much more manageable 3rd and 4. We've seen that a lot tonight, Reed. Mount Zion making mistakes. It hasn't hurt them, but still, I can't imagine that if you're Mount Zion and you're Coach Patrick Etherton, you're thrilled with all the penalties here tonight.
That's the only thing that's given Taylorville a chance in this game.
Cameron sets up. Quick throw to the left-hand side. Way up in the air on a one-on-one matchup and nearly picked in an acrobatic somersault from somebody from Mount Zion. Oh, that was the Braves' Brody Lippa again. Coming flying in. Pass was intended for Rivera, I think.
Yeah, Lippa's covered well on the man-to-man in this game. Made things really difficult on some of those deep passes, which otherwise have actually resulted in some big plays. But that's a big stop.
So 4th and 4 from the 11. Taylorville needs to get down to the 6. Throws left-hand side. It is caught. Now tries to stagger to the left side. A big hit from behind and not going to be enough to get there. Not going to be enough to get there. Taylorville really had the foot race and found some open space, and for whatever reason, he cut back over to the left, and he's going to be just short. It's going to be a turnover on downs.
Well, there were 2 Mount Zion players approaching from the inside. Take another look on Tommy TV. You're going to see 2 players run into each other. 2 Mount Zion players collide. Take a look. One of them making the tackle, and then 2 of them just tripped right over each other. And Malik Pierce, for all his speed, just didn't quite win the race on that occasion, as Landon Morrow was the player who made the big stop.
Yeah, Malik had some space there, but it was almost like he tried to be a little bit too fancy with it, and it cost him. So Mount Zion will take over at their own 14-yard line. And Taylorville trying to capitalize again on maybe a Mount Zion mistake. Stocks, hands off to the right side. Breaks one and then gets pulled down. No gain on the play. The run not going anywhere for Jacob Harvey. We've seen that sweep a couple times from Mount Zion. They'll bring in the left wide receiver screaming across the field and just hand it off and try to see if they can't cause some confusion on the defense. And it's had some big plays for the most part. Taylor's done a really good job of slowing down Harvey on those.
Lately, at least, yeah.
Stock sets up. Looking towards his sideline. Coach Etherton. Tell him what to do. 5:45, and now Mount Zion probably going to start slowing down the game a whole lot as there's 4 seconds left on the game clock. Right side, still on his feet, and pushes forward. And then pulled down close to the first down marker. I think he's just going to be just shy. They'll bring up a manageable 3rd and 1. No, they're giving him the first down. Ridiculous. 3rd and it'll be a 1st and 10. From the 25. And again, Mount Zion chewing up as much clock as they possibly can with a 25-12 lead. Nothing that Taylorville can do here other than just watch and wait for the clock to drop down. Hands off again, right side, and again a front wall and nothing going on. A good defensive stand from Taylorville. In on the stop was Gabe Machad again.
if you're Mount Zion trying to run the clock out here, you don't necessarily mind plays going like this because then you still take up those downs. And then you can get the first down on either second or third. And if you don't, then, okay, you punt the ball, but you give Taylorville not too much time to work with to then get 2 scores.
.430 left here in this one. Mount Zion killing as much clock as they can. Ball on the far hash mark. Stocks throws to the right. Caught on a screen play. Breaks through is going to be just, I imagine, just shy of the first down. The last time I said that they got a first down, so I don't know anymore. Should be 3rd and 1.
So this time they don't give Mount Zion the first down. This was by a bit of a wider margin. And yes, on the previous one, I thought it should have been 3rd and inches.
Hallelujah. Look at that. So 3rd and 1 as Taylorville will try to make a stop here and force a 4th down, although, again, this close to first down territory, Mount Zion might just go for it this late in the game. But before that, Mount Zion's going to try to kill this last 8 seconds on the clock. They do. Another handoff and breaks through. Down to the 40 and then taken down at the 45 on the far hash mark. Enough for the first down and then some on the run. And that might effectively do it here. 3:27 left. Taylorville's going to have to start calling timeouts here, and they take their first timeout here. Brought to you by TCCU.
It does appear as though there is an injured Mount Zion player on the ground, just being looked at, but they get the important conversion. That just, well, outside of this injury timeout here, does allow them to run some more time off.
Don't forget to join us for the Nicole Patrick Country Financial Player of the Game, which we will announce at the end of today's broadcast. We'll also have a couple interviews with some of our Tommy TV staff, which we're excited about. Big shout out to our Tommy TV crew back behind the studios making this happen. Look, those guys behind the scenes do an amazing job. A lot of stuff that you guys don't even see that goes on to make sure all the cameras work, all the replays work, and Hannah's done a fantastic job with her team. So we appreciate all the hard work that you guys do back there. It's a 25-12 lead in the last home game of the season for Taylorville, presumably, as we'll get ready for the playoffs here, provided Taylorville is able to win against Civic next week. Mount Zion will win the Apollo Conference. They will improve to 7-1, 5-0 in conference. Taylorville will fall to 4-4, 3-2, unless something miraculous happens here in the next 3 minutes and 27 seconds. Mount Zion has the ball at their own 44-yard line. They'll need to go 56 yards to pick up a touchdown. They just need to get to the 46 of Taylorville to get a first down, and not too much time left for Taylorville to work with here with 3:20 left here in the game. Keller Stocks in the shotgun. Trips right. And handoff to the right side. Woolhouse. First down and then some. Down to the 35 and then pulled down out of bounds around the 33-yard line. And a little bit of extracurriculars going on over on the sideline. Under 3 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Mount Zion will snap Taylorville's 3-game win streak. And what a game, though, for Cameron Smith. Yes, he had the one interception and they had a couple incomplete passes, but coming in as a junior in relief of Isaac Repsher, who has done a fantastic job this year. Repsher done for the season. We'll have Cameron the rest of the way. Right side, now rolling, hit from behind, and a good defensive stand from Taylorville.
They call timeout as well. It's been hit or miss for the Taylorville run defense in this drive, and you can tell with the way Mount Zion's been able to run the time off. They've taken a couple third downs. Now they're on a second down, but
Michaud with the stop on that one, by the way. Michaud with the tackle. Don't forget to join us tomorrow on WTIM's, or WRAN, as Reed Kamai will be bringing you the morning show, 10 to 1 on the Saturday Request Show. Give him a call if you want to hear something from the 1970s all the way till 1990s. Also, you play me some Metallica, would you? Would you please play me some Metallica?
Well, hang on, I gotta write this down. So let's see. So we've got Metallica, and then what was the song by Paula Abdul?
Oh, Opposites Attract. You gotta do that one as well.
Okay, Paula Abdul.
Oh, we're excited. We're excited. Otherwise than that, Reed, I'm pretty excited. I know you've got to work tomorrow morning, but for the most part, it'll be a nice, relaxing weekend. We've had something going on, I feel, every weekend for the last month and a half. So it'll be nice to have more of a relaxing weekend for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, well, last weekend was relaxing too, but yeah, the weekend before that, it was certainly fun, but no, just a lot of stuff. It gets to me at times. It does.
It does. So the Braves will come out of the timeout, using up as much time as they possibly can here. 2:52 left here in the regulation. Hand to Woolhouse, who gets forward. Gain of about 6 on the play on the right side. As Mount Zion is just content to run this one out. And Taylor will be forced to take another timeout. Brought to you by TCCU.
That's the last time out of the game. So, for Taylorville at least.
And we're going to take it with them. You're listening to WTIM, your information station. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to WTIM, your information station, back in 10 seconds for legal identification. (25-12) in favor of Mount Zion, a game that was 17-12 at halftime. And if you're Taylorville, take a little bit of solace that you only allowed one touchdown, and it came off a interception. Otherwise than that, not a whole lot of offense from either side here in this second half. I don't know if that's a win or a loss, but right side run and no room there. Now, obviously, Mount Zion not pushing as hard simply because they're trying to run the clock down. But still, if you're Taylorville, you got to take some of those small wins. That seems to be a victory right there for them.
Yeah, they got the stop. And again, that was the first time that either team did not score on a drive. So there's a win. They knew they were the underdogs coming into this game, and I think put up a good fight. Certainly made Mount Zion work for this win in some respects.
Heck of a job from Taylorville here this evening. When you really look at what this team was able to do coming into this game, you take away that field goal at the end of the first half, that would have been 14-12, and then just the touchdown. You're looking at maybe a 21-22-12 game, and that's way more. Yes, I know what the score is, but there's a lot of wins that Taylorville can take away from this game this evening, and that seems to be a big one right there. So a lot of confidence moving forward. That Cameron's done a great job coming in and filling in for the injured Isaac Repscher, and for Taylorville as the wind picks up. I nearly lost my sheet. Luckily, the wind seems to have shifted directions. It's now going right to left. It was going away from the football field. So if you're familiar with Taylorville football field, it was going towards the Mount Zion bench. Now it's not. Now it's going towards the end zone, so it's blowing away from the school towards the softball field. So a little bit of a change of direction here wind-wise this evening. And again, some big storms expected to move through the area tomorrow, so keep an eye on the weather, especially if you're traveling tomorrow as storms are rolling through. I was supposed to work at the racetrack tomorrow, but they've already canceled all the activities because it's supposed to rain all day. So just something to keep an eye on if you are traveling, especially if you're traveling south from Taylorville tomorrow. Otherwise, 25-12 in favor of Mount Zion. Again, it was 17-12 at the end of halftime. Mount Zion added a touchdown off of a interception from Cameron Smith, who for the most part otherwise has looked very solid here in relief of the injured Isaac Repsher. And timeout is over, and Taylorville coming back out. That was their last timeout. And with 2:08 left here in regulation, Mount Zion just needs a first down. They'll be able to take a knee. Looking to roll out to his right-hand side. Stocks goes forward and then just falls down to kill some more time. And now Taylorville will be forced to just watch as the clock goes here on the quarterback keeper from Stock.
And if you're Cameron Smith, you came into tonight having not even played a full game. So now you have a game and a half. Plenty to think about, plenty to discuss, and you want to have those conversations, figure out with everyone else involved what's working, what's not. I think and there is a lot of stuff that is working. So I think that should be considered encouraging. Going into next week, a game which they'll need to win and will be expected to.
All right, so Taylorville will keep on trying to cause some problems here. Rolls out to the right side. Stock's still on his feet and gets pulled down near the 20-yard line. Be just short of the first down marker, but it'll be a 3rd and 2 from the 20. 3rd and 3 from the 20. 65 seconds left. And again, just needs to get to that 18-yard line. Mount Zion will walk away winners of the Apollo Conference. What a valiant effort from these Taylorville Tornadoes, though. If you're a Taylorville fan, you got to be proud of the effort that these boys put in this evening. Huge job playing against a dangerous Mount Zion team. And J.C. Anderson was, for the most part, kept in check, honestly. Yes, he had a couple touchdowns and a couple big moments, but he didn't break free on any long runs. And Taylorville did a really good job of just kind of maintaining him. It's not easy to maintain a guy like that. So I'll bring up a 3rd and 3 and 20 seconds left. That will do it for this one. Mount Zion picks up a 25-12 win over Taylorville. They will win the Apollo Conference and pick up a huge conference victory. And they will start looking towards the playoffs here moving forward as they improve to 5-0 in the conference, 7-1 overall. Tornadoes fall to 4-4, 3-2 in this one. 25-12 is the final score. And J.C. Anderson and the Mount Zion Braves just proved a little bit too much for Cameron Smith and the Taylorville Tornadoes here this evening. Going through the handshake line here, and yeah, we're excited here as we bring you all of the action. And Reed, so we're going to send this down to the field as we get ready for one of our first post-game interviews. Take it away, guys.
The Tornadoes held the Braves to only one touchdown in the entire second half and fought hard throughout the entire game. Now back up to Leroy for his final thoughts.
All right, so 25-12 win for Mount Zion as they win the Apollo Conference. And for Taylorville, again, you've got to be proud of the effort that these guys put in this evening. When you look at this team and what they've been able to do, especially in this one, they came out of the gate really, really strong. They looked good. Yes, they were trying to match field goal for touchdown for a while. But for the most part for Taylorville, they knew that coming into this was going to be a dogfight. You just sit in the back of your head and you just wonder if they would have had Isaac Repsher, what would have happened in this one. Nothing against Cameron Smith. He played a fantastic game, but you will always do those what-ifs with games like this and what happens in those kind of situations. So, but Taylorville will get ready to do their fight song here. And we'll send it down to the field for that here in just a moment as they get ready. The band coming out onto the field. And what was a valiant effort from this Taylorville Tornado team this evening, fighting for the conference championship. Because that's the real important part. Taylorville was fighting for an Apollo Conference championship here tonight. And considering how this season started, you kind of wondered if that was going to be the case. All right, here we go. Maybe I'll start. There we go. And final score of 25-12 here in favor of Mount Zion. And Taylorville got the scoring started off right with a quick field goal thanks to a Wyatt Yonker huge reception. Mount Zion would answer back with a touchdown of their own. But for Wyatt Yonker, really just Cameron Smith just saying, look, let me just air it out and see what happens. He found a favorable one-on-one matchup and easily grabs the reception to race down the field and get pulled down eventually down near the 10-yard line. Mount Zion defense would be able to kind of hold off on the goal line stand right there, and Taylor will be forced to kick a field goal. But just a fantastic throw right there. And then speaking of which, it is now time to name our Nicole Patrick Country Financial Player of the Game, and that is...
It is Wyatt Yonker. Considering some of the plays he made. You saw one of them just now on Tommy TV. Also had another big play. I think that was in the third quarter, and that helped them gain some yardage, keep a drive alive. So some good plays there, and someone that Cameron Smith again was just able to trust to bring down that ball. And that makes him our Nicole Patrick Country Financial Player of the Game.
A huge shout out to Wyatt Yonker. He'll receive a certificate at the end of the year for his efforts this evening as Mount Zion takes their picture for winning the Apollo Conference. But a fantastic effort from Wyatt Yonker here and from these Taylorville Tornadoes. Congratulations to him, our Nicole Patrick Country Financial Player of the Game. Otherwise, final notes this evening for Mount Zion. J.C. Anderson scored a couple touchdowns, but really it was the quarterback play of Keller Stocks who really was able to find some good stuff there and be able to race down the field a couple times. He had a big 80-yard run there, and Malik Pierce answered. Malik Pierce had a fantastic run again here this evening, which was a great job for a touchdown, but Mount Zion just a little bit too tough for Taylorville here at home. And I think that interception from Cameron Smith really just kind of was the game changer in that one. Cameron never really looked comfortable after that interception, and it's a shame too because he had a fantastic game, fantastic effort from him as what he was able to do with the field here this evening coming in for his first game.
Yeah, and it seemed like Taylorville as a whole really felt out of sorts after that interception. And we were talking about before the game, right? Don't get overwhelmed, and it felt like they got a little overwhelmed. After that turnover, the task, I think, just felt too tall for them. And then Mount Zion was able to capitalize, really make some good gains. Of course, they got the score after that. And then it really did get too tall, and that was a lot.
All right, so that'll do it for us from here. Big shout out to all of our staff and crew that are working behind the scenes. Tommy TV, you guys did a fantastic job this evening and all season long. It's been a pleasure to work with all of you behind the scenes. Reed, it's been a pleasure to work with you all year long, and we're going to do this again next week. Again, pregame at 6:45 on WTIM as Taylorville takes on Civic Memorial. But we're excited to be bringing you all of the action next week. Reed, your final thoughts?
Well, I'll share my final thoughts after we do have one interview on the sideline.
All right.
And why don't we send it down to the sideline to hear more.
Can you tell us about your experience in the last 4 years playing football?
Yes, in the last 4 years, we went to the playoffs 2 times. Hopefully a third time this year, with being my senior year. I played 12 years with the guys in the senior class. They have always had heart and show. They always love the sport, and we always try to do our best. We're playing Civic Memorial at 7. Please come and support. Either watch, show up, and please roll Tornadoes.
Yes, please come and support them. And how do you feel it being your last home game on the THS Turf?
Bittersweet. There's a lot of memories here. In 5th grade, we beat the Braves for a conference championship in the right corner of the end zone over there. And pretty much it's a love. All of us have love for the sport, and it's bitter. It's bittersweet.
Thank you so much, Ethan. Have a great rest of your senior year. Now, next week, on Friday, we are going to be up against Civic Memorial away at Civic Memorial, so make sure to tune in on that. And on behalf of myself, Haley, and the rest of the Tommy TV crew, we thank you for joining tonight. Have a great night, Tornado Nation.
All right, great job down on the field with those sideline reports, and that'll do it for us from here. Again, Reed, your final thoughts here this evening.
Well, a valiant effort from Taylorville. They made this a game. And I think they'll be proud about that, and then they will be able to learn from this, then go to Civic Memorial, and that's a game that, of course, they need to win to get into the playoffs, hopefully.
On behalf of Reed Cam, my name is Leroy Clamola. This is going to do it for us from here. We're heading off to Civic Memorial next week. Pregame at 6:45. On behalf of Reed Cam, my name is Leroy Clamola. Big shout out to all the Tommy TV crew as well behind the scenes. We'll do it all again next week for the season finale. Hey, good job, everyone. Proud of each and every one of you. But Taylorville will move on next week to take on Civic Memorial. If I don't see you, have a fantastic rest of your evening, and go Tornadoes.
Have a good night.
You're watching Tommy TV.